understand what it really looks like to be there. So first we'll start by looking at it. Okay. And then we'll see, so I'll actually show you there are a lot of very beautiful label diagrams, by the way, because, this was a very huge victory. And as we were reading about it, it was also, very hugely publicized, right? Through media. So that is one of the advantages. Hi, Diksha, very happy to see you. That is one of the advantages. If something is getting recorded, if something is constantly being broadcasted, then you have these long-lasting, internet trails. What is an internet trail? If today I Google it, I'll find a lot of things about it. Okay. So there are a lot of such things. If you go to Google and if you actually look for Kargil War, you will find so much content. See, I'll show you. I found this really beautiful label diagram. Can you guys see this?
Yes, it is.
Yes. See, now this is the Tiger Hill that the militants are on. Okay. And this is India Gate. Can you see? This is slightly it's slightly higher than the normal terrain, right? So what they're trying to do is they're trying to take cover here so that these people, because if you're sitting here, imagine this, okay? If somebody is sitting here, they can see all of this so clearly, right? They can also see is road ke niche, there is the road that goes, okay, underneath this mountain, like aside this mountain, alongside this mountain. So everything can be seen from here. Can you see how tall this actually is? Like, look at everything else around it. It's higher than all of it, right? That is Tiger Hills. Okay. And now this is the southern spur. He'll talk about that also. So can you see how this is such a steep climb, no? Can you see this? So now, because it's in a photo, we can still see like this. But if you're actually physically there, it's like climbing on a wall. That's how, steep it is. It's almost as steep as that. So it's very difficult to climb it. Okay. So these are the different approaches that they were taking. They were also trying to go from here, this side. They were trying to go from this side also. Both of these very difficult climbs. Okay. And then they were also obviously trying to go from this particular side, which is our India Gate, the helmet side. Okay. And this is the Western Ridge. So we'll come back to this diagram after a while also. These are all the things that they have described. Yes, Muskan, you have a question?
Yes, the helmet is the name of hill.
No, so it's not a hill, love, but they have tried to name all the different, protrusions. I told you protrusion is anything. Oh, so protrusion is actually anything that is coming a little bit out of the surface. Okay. Let's say you have a huge pimple on your face. Now that's also protrusion. Okay. So anything that is coming out. So in this case, in the case of this mountain, these are these small protrusions that are there. Okay. So these protrusions become very important for people who are trying to take cover. Let's say I'm trying to go somewhere, but I want to hide. So I'll try and find small things that I can hide behind, right? These are those things that they were hiding behind. So hence they've named it. So it's not like an actual thing, because India Gate is a different place altogether, right? But they have named it. You know how we label our diagrams? Or let's say if you're making a treasure map, you know how we label things? Like in our colony, I know like this is the one corner that I call it this, I call it that. That sort of a name. They have given it names. Okay. So these are the two protrusions, the important ones that they could hide behind. So that is why they've named it India Gate and Helmet. Okay. And this is our main Tiger Hills. All right. So now we will go back to our chapter. We'll come back to this and I'll send you guys this picture also. So take a look at it. Once you're done reading the chapter, then also if you see it, you'll be able to see it. It's a very good diagram. Okay. So let's start with this only. Let's start with the India Gate paragraph. Okay. Who wants to read? Please raise your hands. Okay, lovely. Go ahead, Diksha.
For the first time in India's military history, a TV channel covered the battle live, a sign of progress and transparency, not to mention the on-screen description of confidence, the Tiger Hill features extends about 2,200 meters from west to east and about 1,000 meters north to south. The main extension is towards the west, on which there are two prominent
Protrusions.
protrusions. The first, approximately 500 meters west of Tiger Hill, had been named India Gate, and the second, Helmet, located another 300 meters away, approximately one company of 12 Northern Light Infantry
Infantry.
by Pakistan held the whole feature.
Perfect. Very well read, Diksha. So this is he's describing what we just saw. Okay. So we, as I told you, this entire thing. This is the Kargil War. Okay, and this was very nicely covered by TV channels. All right. Now, as I told you earlier, if I'm very sure that I'm going to win a fight, it's only then that I would want myself to be on TV about that fight, right? I don't want to be on TV and lose, right? So this was one of the, this was a show of confidence in a way that we knew that we would win, or we knew we had it in us. Like the Indian Armed Forces knew that they had it in us, in them, to be able to, win this particular challenge. And it was a very difficult one, because now when we read further, you'll realize that, the mountain was actually covered with snow because it was not summer season and it snows there. So imagine us walking normally in a little bit of winter gets very annoying for us, right? But they were actually walking in the snow, and that too in the middle of the night, early morning, the times when it's the coldest. Okay. So it was a very difficult thing, but they knew that they would be able to do it. Hence, it was very nicely, depicted on TV. All right. Now they're just describing what it looks like. Okay, he's going to give a lot of descriptive things. Now this is an important thing about report writing. Okay, guys, we have report writing in our syllabus also. What is report writing? Let's say I am present for an important event, or I am supervising an important event, and now I want other people to know about it, that it went so well, this went right, this went wrong. So I'll write a report, detailed report about it. Okay. So he has written a very wonderful report. Now, when you're writing a report, you try and depict everything. It's like telling a story. When you go to, like, let's say you go to watch a really nice movie, okay? And you come back and you tell your mom, I say, Mom, I watched this really cool movie today. Then she'll ask you, what was the movie like? So you'll tell her, no, in short, you'll tell her the story. You'll tell her what happened. You'll tell her what you liked about it. That's exactly very similar to how a report is written. But it's more detailed, and this one is a very excellent one. Okay, so let's see what he's saying. He's saying the Tiger Hill feature. Feature means ye jo puri pahadi hai hamari. Okay, the Tiger Hill feature extends about 2,200 meters. 1,000 meters is 1 kilometer, right? So it's 2.2 kilometers almost. Now that is, it extends. Aise upar niche pura, if you measure it, that's the length. From west to east. अगर west से east हम नापे उसको तो लगभग 2.2 kilometers है. Okay, and about 1,000 meters from north to south. Okay, अगर हम north to south उसको देखें तो it is about 1,000 meters. Okay, and the main extension is towards the west. Main extension मतलब जैसे ये पहाड़ी है मेरा, ठीक है? Can you guys see my hand? Now this is one side, this is another side. ये वाला side लंबा है ना मेरी पहाड़ी का? Can you see? थोड़ा सा लंबा है. यहाँ से if I try climbing, I'll be able to climb more easily, right? That's exactly what we were seeing in the picture also. Here we have India Gate, helmet, all of that, right? So this is the west side. This is the west extension, and this is the main extension. Okay, this is where you usually climb this hill from. There are two prominent protrusions. Okay, anything that's coming slightly out of that particular area will become a protrusion. The first one is 500 meters west. So now he's telling us kitni dur hai wo. So 500 meter west is Tiger Hills. Tiger Hills comes first. And then you have another one, which is India Gate, which is 300 meters away from India Gate. Okay. So सबसे पास में आपके India Gate आता है Tiger Hills के, and then you have helmet. All right. Now he's telling us how many people were there. So it was approximately one company. Okay, one company can have anywhere between 30 to, let's say, 40 people. They were all staying here in this Tiger Hill area, covering different areas of it. Trying to protect the territory that they had established. Those militants had come into India and they had captured our land. And there were so many people that they were not letting us take back our land. Let's say somebody comes to your house and throws you basically out of your house, or like asks you to sit in one corner, and then they don't move. That is what it was like for our country. Okay. So they were sitting here in a very, very dominating position. And that is what we were doing. We were trying to get our land back from them. Okay. Now let's go to the next paragraph. Who wants to read this part? I want you guys to raise your hands. All right. I'll read this one. Go ahead, Muskan.
At 1090 hours on 3 July 18, Grenadiers Command is multi-directional isolate under the cover of bad weather and darkness, supported by the firepower of artillery and mortars. A company captured an intermediate position called Tongue by 0130 hours on 4 July. Further advance along the southwestern spur leading to Tiger Hill top was stalled due to accurate fire by the enemy from India Gate, helmet and top.
Perfect. Very well done. So now we need to understand that right now, India Gate, helmet, the top of Tiger Hills, the whole thing is with the enemy. That's where the enemy is sitting. Okay. We are trying to approach it slowly. All right. So at 1900 hours on 3rd July, 18 Grenadiers commenced its multi-directional assault. I told you they were trying to go in from different directions. Okay. Now, when somebody is already sitting at a position, which is a position of dominance, they already have a lot of power in their hands. If I then want to defeat them, I'll try and attack from all directions. I'll try and do other things which will put me at advantage. Okay. So they were trying to do this multi-directional assault, matlab attack. Okay. Under the cover of bad weather and darkness. This is another thing that they were trying to use. If it's really dark, first I can't see. If the weather is so bad, nobody will assume that somebody would want to attack right now. Because these people are not on cars, they're walking. Okay. You can't go on a car. These people are not on helicopters because helicopters can be heard and seen. These people have been walking for hours and hours to reach here. Okay. Supported by the firepower of artillery and mortars. What is artillery? A lot of guns. Okay. Guns and bombs and everything that we see in movies, hand grenades and all that stuff, that's our artillery. Okay. And mortars is basically motor operated, a lot of missiles, small missile launchers that you can carry in it. Okay. We don't call it A company, we call it Alpha company. Okay. It's Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. That's how we call the companies, A, B, C, D. Okay. So the Alpha company captured an intermediate. You remember आपके 10th standard को भी intermediate कहते हैं ना? Because it's a passing phase. It's बीच में आता है. It's not too young. It's not your, high school. And it's not your, senior secondary or whatever you call that. So it's an intermediate state. So intermediate मतलब दो चीजों के बीच में आता. Okay. So it was definitely not Tiger Hill, so very close to that. But उसके पास में बीच में एक जगह है जिसको उन्होंने tongue label किया था. Okay. Tongue maybe because it's shaped like that. You know how your tongue is shaped? ऐसे U shape में, तो वैसे shape होगा. Most of चीज जो आपको यहाँ पे names मिलेंगे, they're very practical names. They have given them in such a way so that it becomes easier for people to remember this. Okay. So they captured an intermediate position called tongue by around 1:30. Okay. 1:30 hours means 1:30. So ये जो 1900 hours था, they counted from 12, okay? So 12, then there is 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 5, 6, 7, around 7 p.m. Okay? So they don't say 12 के बाद, they don't say 1, they say 13. Okay? Because AM, PM बोलने का confusion नहीं रखते. So 1900 hours is actually शाम के 7 o'clock. Okay? So शाम के 7 o'clock से they started walking and रात को 1:30 पे, अगले दिन की रात को 1:30 पे, they were able to capture this intermediate position. All right? So that is how long they walked for. Remember, they can't carry food. They can't carry a lot of food. They can barely carry water. And sometimes the water that you're carrying, that gets frozen also, as we've read in our mountain climbing chapter on, about when we read about Tenzing Norgay. So that is how they're traveling, okay? Further advance along the southeastern spur. Southeastern spur हमने देखा था ना अभी, ये इंडिया गेट और हेलमेट, और ये साउथ ईस्टर्न स्पर है ना, ये वेस्टर्न है, ये साउथ ईस्टर्न है, ये थोड़ा खड़ा है, दिस इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट. Okay, further advance along the southeastern spur leading to Tiger Hill top was stalled. Stalled मतलब किसी चीज में delay हो जाना. Okay, let's say I have to have a meeting with Muskan, but Muskan is getting late. So what will Muskan do? She'll call Sneha and she'll say, "Go and stall na Rakshita di, I'll come in a while." That means Sneha needs to just talk to me and make me wait for some time. Okay, so that Muskan can then join. That is stalling someone. ठीक है, किसी को ऐसे थोड़ा देर वहीं पे रोक के रखना, उनको और आगे ना बढ़ने देना. All right. So they were stalled due to the accurate fire. Accurate means they're firing very precisely. Okay. By the enemy from India Gate, helmet and the top. वो तीनों जगह से they were firing. So यहाँ से they were trying to climb. यहाँ से तीनों जगह से गोली आ रही. So they couldn't go ahead. Okay. All right. Let's move to the next paragraph. Are you guys finding this interesting? Are you guys finding this? You're getting the story? You're getting what is happening? Mm-hmm. Give me a thumbs up if you're getting. Good. I see a lot of thumbs up. Nice. Okay. Lovely. Who wants to read next? Lovely, Rinki. Go ahead.
Meanwhile, Captain Sachin Nimbalkar led the D Company assault from the east. His company had to negotiate steep escarpment using mountaineering equipment despite the darkness and the inclement weather. His approach took the enemy by surprise. After some firefighting, D Company was successful in occupying the eastern portion of area Kolar, which lay within 100 meters of Tiger Hill top.
Lovely. Very well read, Rinki. We'll stop here, okay? I'll explain this part first. So now, as I was telling you, there are other areas. I'm just going to quickly show you guys the diagram, okay? So that you can understand this part. Now, this is the southeastern spur, okay? What have we just been told by the general who's writing our story? That this company went from east, okay? This is the southern spur, this is the western spur, okay? So if you take it normally, north, south, and east and west, dekh rahe hain na hum log. So it's somewhere around here, guys, that he's trying to climb from. Now, as you can see, this is almost straight, okay? Now this is my mountain, but this is a part where it's almost as I told you, it's almost like climbing a wall, okay? It's not something that you can walk on. Then you'll have to grab onto the rocks. Have you seen it in movies, how people do rock climbing? They hold rocks and then they try to climb, right? You have to pull your entire body weight with your hands. So the enemy definitely was not expecting, around here they're trying to reach, okay? This is around 100 meters away from the top. This is where they're trying to reach, okay? So this climb was a very difficult one and the enemy was not expecting them there. So they had not put a lot of soldiers here. They've put people here, here, and here. This is where we were climbing from. This is the tongue area. And this is where we then tried to reach with Captain Sachin's Delta Company. Okay? So they reach here. They try and reach here. Let's see if they're able to do that. Okay? All right. So Captain Sachin Nimbalkar, he led the Delta Company assault from the east. his company had to negotiate. Negotiate usually means to talk to two different people and have an argument and settle things. Okay. So let's say Sangeeta wants to not attend the English class and watch something on YouTube, and Achal really wants to. I know you guys don't do it like that, but I'm just gonna give it as an example, okay? And they have to share the mobile. So now they're gonna negotiate. Sangeeta's gonna be like, no, we should really just watch something on YouTube. And Achal's like, no, we should attend the class. They're gonna have a discussion, they'll put their points, and then they'll negotiate. Okay, that's a negotiation. Now here, negotiation here means किसी तरीके से चल के जाना इस केस में. They are negotiating with what? They are negotiating with the rasta, the way, and with the weather. Okay? Steep escarpment. Let's see what your book is telling us about escarpment. It's a long, steep slope at the edge of a plateau. Do you guys know what a plateau is? Plateau bata? Okay. Plateau is basically, it's a mountain, but it's flat from the top. That's a plateau. Okay? Simple. It's a mountain, but it's flat from the top. All right. So now this steep escarpment is basically, it's a part of getting onto the plateau. आप कैसे चढ़ोगे उस पे? But it's steep. Steep क्या होता है? It's a steep climb. That means बहुत ही खड़ी चढ़ाई जैसे हम लोग बोलते हैं ना हिंदी में. That's a steep climb. Okay. So this was a steep escarpment, and they had to use mountaineering equipment. Okay. When you can't walk and you have to climb, then you have to wear different things, right? I'll have to maybe wear gloves or different kind of shoes and all of that. So they had to wear mountaineering equipment. Despite the darkness and the inclement weather. Inclement weather here is very, very cold weather. Okay? It's very cold, it's freezing, and it's dark. It's really dark, so you can't see also. In fact, you know, when it's really cold and the sun comes out, don't you feel so nice? You get a little bit of heat, right? But if it's really, really cold and it's during the nighttime, it's further, you know, you feel more, even worse because there's no light also, right? So that is the weather that they are working in. Okay. His approach, as it should have, it took the enemy by surprise. They did not expect it. Somebody will climb from here also. This difficult climb also somebody will do. Okay. After some firefighting means both sides there were guns going on. Okay. The Delta Company was successful in occupying the eastern portion of the area collar. What is a collar? You know our collar? Something that surrounds it, right? Similarly here, okay? The area collar, which lay within 100 meters of the Tiger Hill top, okay? So this was actually very close to the actual top. Now remember this, the lower area, India Gate and Helmet still has enemies. The top still has enemies, but some small part we are now able to capture. At least we are somewhere. Okay? All right, let's move on to our next paragraph. Who wants to read now? Shall I pick people? Okay. Dildar, go ahead, read. I have not heard you read in so long.
On another front, Charlie Company and Ghatak means commando platoon under Lieutenant Balwan Singh also surprised the enemy. This time along the difficult northeast Spur and obtained a toehold just 30 meters from the top.
Continue. Let's finish off the next paragraph. You're reading very well.
Okay. At 4 hours on 4 July, after a carefully orchestrated artillery bombardment, Sachin Nimbelkar and Balwan Singh alone with their men approached Tiger Hill top by climbing a sheer cliff and caught the enemy unawares. After a spell hand-to-hand fighting, they succeeded in capturing the objective. Although 18 grenadiers held the top now, linking up with them was not easy. When the initial surprise wore off, the enemy started gearing up for launching counter attacks.
Perfect. Very well, Red Dildar. So now let's look at this, okay? Now there's one company that has captured your, there is one company that has captured a place which is only 100 meters away from the top, okay? Now another, as I told you, it's a multi-directional assault. So Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, all their companies are attacking from different directions, okay? So Delta company has reached some place, they have captured it. Now what is Charlie company doing? Charlie company, which is the Ghatak Commando. Commando is a very, it's a very technical course, very difficult course. Basically, anybody who's a commando is very strong and good at fighting. That's what it basically means. Okay, so this company would be very well trained in fighting, let's say. Okay, platoon under, this is pronounced as lieutenant or lieutenant. Okay, mostly we call it lieutenant. Lieutenant Balwant Singh also surprised the enemy. Okay, this time along the difficult northeastern Spur. Spur, as we've seen earlier, Spur is an area of high ground extending from a mountain or hill. Okay, थोड़ी सी ऐसे पहाड़ी बाहर निकली हुई होती है जो, वो हमारा स्पर होता है. ठीक है, सो जो हमारा नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्पर है एंड उससे भी वेंट अहेड, तो वो भी बहुत ही डिफिकल्ट क्लाइंब था. इट वाज वेरी सिमिलर टू द काइंड ऑफ क्लाइंब दैट द डेल्टा कंपनी हैज डन एंड इट ऑब्टेन्ड टो होल्ड. यू नो व्हाट आर टोज? आपके योर लेग के जो फिंगर्स होते हैं ना, उनको टोज कहते हैं. ओके, सो यू जस्ट थोड़ा सा you've captured something, so he's calling it a toe hold. Okay, just 30 meters from the top. तो वो छोटा सा जो एरिया था 30 meters top से, that Charlie company could capture. Okay, now we are very close to the top of Tiger Hills. Lakshmi, you have a doubt?
Yes, दीदी अल्फा बीटा ये सब अपोजिट ऑफ एलिमी के थे ना, वो अपोजिट थे ना एलिमी के.
Yes, so alpha, beta and gamma, that is in science. This is Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta. This is company के names. Okay?
Yes, दीदी पर उनके अपोजिट थे ना एलिमी के.
Yes, ये सब enemy के opposite है. So this is Indian Army के units. So they are fighting these people.
Okay, दीदी.
So they're fighting and so basically they are together, Lakshmi, but they are going from different directions to fight the enemy. Because the enemy is all over the place. Like they are placed in a lot of different positions. So we are fighting them off from all different positions. Okay, we are going from different angles. All right? That is why we are reading about them separately. Okay?
Yes, thank you, Didi.
Most welcome. So this toe hold that they grabbed was just 30 meters away from the top. So we were getting very close. Okay. Now at 4 in the morning, okay, 400 hours, we call it 400 hours. That's 4 in the morning on 4th July, after a carefully orchestrated क्या होता है? Orchestrated actually comes from orchestra. आपने देखा है टीवी पे ऐसे बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे, कोई वॉलिन बजा रहा है, कोई पियानो बजा रहा है, ढेर सारे लोग ऐसे कोई इंस्ट्रूमेंट बजा रहे होते हैं और एक इंसान ऐसे एक स्टिक लेके खड़ा होता है, ऐसे 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 करके उनको बोल रहा होता है. देखा है आपने वो टीवी पे? I'll send you a picture of an orchestra. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so that's an orchestra. Okay, carefully orchestrated मतलब उतने जैसा ऑर्केस्ट्रा में सब डिटेलली एक एक जगह पे फिक्स होता है ना, वैसे आपने पूरा ऑर्गेनाइज करके रखा है. Okay. So a carefully orchestrated artillery bombardment. Artillery, I told you, guns and bombs and everything. Bombardment is basically throwing them. Okay, और वो सब blast हो रहा है. So बहुत ही carefully orchestrated, मतलब बहुत ही अच्छे से plan करके, we planned exactly where we'll throw this one, where we throw that one. ऐसे करके it was planned and exactly that's how it was done. Sachin Nimbalkar and Balwant Singh, along with their men, approached the Tiger Hill top. Now Sachin Nimbalkar was around 100 meters away. Balwant Singh was around 30 meters away. Now both of them are coming together and they are approaching the top. Okay? They approached the Tiger Hill top by climbing a sheer cliff. Now, even for the top, there are different ways from which I can go. They chose the most difficult one. Okay? If some climb is very difficult, I won't think somebody will leave this easy wala area and come from a very difficult area. So I have not kept guns pointed to this side. Okay, if I'm suscepting people to come to me from this side, that is where my guns and everything is pointed. Okay, and this is 4 in the morning, so most of them should be asleep, right? So they are climbing from this steep part and they caught the enemy unawares. Unawares matlab they were not prepared for this. Okay, so they caught them by surprise. All right. After a spell of hand-to-hand fighting, spell means a short duration. Okay. After a spell of hand-to-hand fighting, now see they're close enough. So now there is no gun. There are no guns. Now you're fighting people actually. Okay, like we see in movies, that fight. Okay, so after a spell of hand-to-hand fighting, they succeeded in capturing the objective. So the objective was the top of Tiger Hills. They finally succeeded. They could defeat all the people that were on the top of it, and they could finally have the top to themselves. Okay. Although 18 grenadiers held the top now, linking up with them was not easy. ये जो रास्ते में पूरा है, India Gate, helmet, all of that is still not with us. We defeated a few people who were on the top, but this main area is still with the enemy. Okay. And now what will happen is when the initial surprise wore off, now they attacked during the night time and early morning. Now when the surprise wore off, now the enemy knows that we are onto them. They also know our plan. The enemy started gearing up for launching counterattacks. If I attack you and if you reply to me with something, it's a counterattack. Okay? You're trying to counter me. Counter means आप किसी चीज को respond कर रहे हो. Okay? So if I give an argument to Dildar will give me a counter argument. Okay? जो मैंने argument दिया उसको defeat करने के purpose से. So जो हमने attack किया था उसको defeat करने के purpose से they were they're fighting back. That's a counter attack. Okay? Perfect. Let's move on to our next paragraph. Sneha, do you want to read? Sneha, can you hear me? Okay. Go ahead, Sneha. Sneha, we can't hear you, love. Can anyone else hear Sneha? Is this my network?
No, Didi, same problem.
Okay. Sneha, try disconnecting your headphones. Maybe then we'll be able to hear you.
Now you can hear me, Didi.
Yes, now I can hear.
One of the most difficult tasks during the course of the battle to maintain one hold on the ground captured before the next assault can be launched. Through the next morning, guerrilla duels continued casually mounted on both sides. The generalists hung on their precocious praise with the gift and demarcation gender Yogender Singh Yadav and his team member ex-capital coach during as his assault.
Perfect. There were a lot of difficult words, but you read really well, Sneha. Okay. So one of the most difficult tasks during the course of a battle. Course of a battle means course क्या होता है हमारा syllabus भी course होता है ना हमारा. So when we are studying, that's the path that we have to follow. That's what's going to happen over the year. Here, the course of the battle is जब लड़ाई चल रही है तो जो हो रहा है. Okay, so during the course of the battle is to maintain one's hold on the ground captured. Now, this part is usually not shown in movies. When they would have gotten the top, they would have planted the Indian flag, right? That's a very sweet moment. Okay, so that's when they announce victories in most movies. But what happens after that is you need to hold your ground. That means मैं जबरदस्ती आके आपके ऊपर बैठ तो गई. Imagine, let's say you are fighting with someone and you decide you finally are, you have the upper hand. Imagine you finally able to, let's say both of you were fighting for a chair. You are now able to sit on that chair. Okay. Now, the most difficult thing after this would be to remain sitting on that chair because that person will try to throw you off of it. Okay. So that is what was happening to us. Now we have captured a part. Okay. We've captured the top of the mountain. Now, the most difficult thing was to maintain our hold on this ground. Okay. before the next assault can be launched, the next attack जो हम launch करने वाले थे, we were prepared for that also. But before we could launch that, we had to maintain this victory, okay? This thing, that this ground that we had finally captured. Throughout the next morning, artillery duels मतलब जैसे in Hindi we call it gola barud चलता रहा, okay? The गोलियां दोनों ओर से, the guns are, there were guns from both sides, there were bombs from both sides, so basically people are trying to attack each other, okay? Artillery duel is a very important word. Duel means fighting, okay? So duels used to happen a lot in olden times. Have you seen the kings used to get down from their horses and fight 1-to-1? Let's say their armies are also fighting. Sometimes the kings also used to fight. That 1-to-1 fighting, no, that's a duel, okay? This is the duel between the artilleries of both the places, but 1-to-1 fighting is a duel, okay? So in the olden times, let's say if you challenged my honor, let's say Zainab is coming to talk to me, okay, and I'm telling her I don't want to talk to you. So I was like, okay, I'll challenge you to a duel. That means Janet and I will get in a one-on-one fight, and whoever wins has the upper hand and will win whatever argument we are having. Okay, that's a duel. All right, but here the duel is between the two, let's say the enemy and us. Okay, the enemy in the Indian army. Okay, casualties mounted on both sides. Casualties is basically deaths. Okay, deaths and injuries. Okay, that's a casualty. Okay, in a war, if the word casualties is being used, this basically means death. But in this case, there could be injuries as well. All right, either you're not, basically anything that's causing somebody from one side to not be able to fight anymore. They're hurt enough for that. Okay, mounted on both sides. मतलब एक के ऊपर एक लोग, a lot of people were getting injured and they were dying on both sides. Okay, the grenadiers is the unit here. Okay, 18 grenadiers. All right, so that's the pronunciation for this particular word. The grenadiers hung onto their precarious perch. Now, precarious is a very nice word, guys. It's basically something which is very dangerous, okay? Something which is not safe at all. All right, let's go with that. So, and perch here is a high seated position. So that was, she made a very precarious decision to go outside without a mask. It's very dangerous to go outside, right? So that's a precarious thing to do. Okay, they held on to their precarious perch, जो उन्होंने high seat, जो उन्होंने वो position capture की थी top पे. It was a very dangerous position. Why was it dangerous? Because just staying there was getting people killed. Because the enemy was attacking us and we were attacking the enemy. Okay, and now because we are exposed, abhi tak what we were doing, we were hiding behind various things. We were climbing. We were catching them by surprise. Now we are on the top. Everybody can see it, and so everybody can attack us. That is why the casualties were mounted. Okay, with grit and determination. Grit is dhril nishchay. Okay, we did grit when we did our Tenzing Norgay chapter also. Okay, dhril nishchay, which is being determined. All right, so grit and determination. Okay, Grenadier Yogendra Singh. Grenadier is this person's rank. Just how just how we had Captain Sachin. We had Captain Sachin. Similarly, we have Grenadier Yogendra Singh Yadav, okay? And his team, basically people who are accompanying him, exhibited exceptional courage during this assault, okay? During this particular attack. So what was happening once they had captured, these would have been some of the people who had been, so imagine this, they left yesterday at 7 p.m. from their camps. And it's in the morning now. It's even further ahead from, let's say, 4. Now it will be around 8 or 10 a.m. in the morning. And they've still been walking. They've not sat down, not had food. It's still very cold, although the sun's out. They're still fighting. Okay. Hence, he's saying that they exhibited exceptional courage during this assault. Okay. Lovely. Who wants to read next? Let me see. Payal, do you want to read? Payal, can you hear me?
May I read?
Okay,
Yes.
Sneha has raised her hand. I'll have Sneha read this one and then I'll have you read. Okay, Muskan? Lovely. Go ahead, Sneha.
8th Mountain Division released that it would not be possible to hit the enemy from the Tiger Hill completely as long as this supply line as along the western shore were in fact Mohan MPS Bajwa then issued orders it still attack and capture Helmet and Gate India, both located on the western supply so that enemy enforcement to the Tiger Hill top would be prevented. The was also intended the cut off enemy supply route.
Perfect. Very well read, Sneha. So at this stage, Mountain 8 Division. What is Mountain 8 Division? Mountain 8 Division is the whole brigade that is sort of managing this entire attack. Okay. 18 Grenadiers is one of its units. There are a lot of other people also there. Okay. What they realized was it would not be possible to evict the enemy. Evict matlab, we want them to leave that place, right? We want to take them out of there. So it won't be possible to do that unless from Tiger Hill completely, as long as his supply lines along the western spur was intact. So along the western spur, which we have seen is one of the easiest climbs, they had a supply line. What is a supply line? It's basically a route through which supply yahan pe kya hai? It's the food and the guns and everything. All that I will need is a person who's sitting on the top of a mountain to fight. Okay, so those are the supply lines along the western spur so long as they were intact. Okay. Mohendra Puri and MPS Bajwa, these are two very senior officers. Then they issued the orders to 8 Sikh. 8 Sikh is a different unit. Okay. Let's say, you know how we have sections in our class? 8th A, 8th B, 8th C. Okay, so 8th A, 8th B, 8th C, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, ऐसे companies मान लो. 8th class as a whole becomes a unit. Okay, now there is 9th class, 10th class, 11th, 12th class. There are a lot of classes, right? A lot of units. And above all of that sits our brigade. Okay, so that's the 8th Mountain Division. And then we have a lot of classes. So let's say 7th class was fighting up till now. Now they are bringing in 8 Sikh as well. Okay, they're bringing in a different class. So they then issued the orders to 8 Sikh to attack and capture Helmet and India Gate. Okay, those two protrusions that we had seen along the western spur, now we are going to capture those. They were very difficult to capture, mind you, and they would have caused a lot of casualties. That is why we didn't start with that, because it's comparatively flat and it's easier to see people. That's why we are going for steep climbs, guys. Because when it's a steep climb, I can't see. Because when I see straight, I see nothing. This is steep climb. खाई जैसा होता है वो steep climb, ठीक है? खाई से they are climbing up when it's a steep climb. But in this case, it's a comparatively, flatter slope. So I can see. When I see in front, I can see you climbing. So of course I'll attack, because I know you're coming to fight. Okay? Both located on the western spur. Helmet and India Gate, so we have understood through the diagram. We know what it looks like. Perfect. So that enemy reinforcement. What is a reinforcement? Reinforcement in this case is food and supplies. Okay. So let's say I'm having a function and I'm calling, who do I want to call? Pizza Hut to give reinforcement. So Pizza Hut, what will they supply? They'll supply the food and soft drink and everything that they would give to the people to eat. In this case, it's food as well as it's a little bit of, guns and everything because of fighting. Okay, reinforcements to the Tiger Hill top could be prevented. So they want to stop that, of course. If I'm fighting you and if I'm not getting anything because I left my camp behind. I have no food and water. You're getting food, water, guns, everything you're getting. So I will try to break that route. Okay. The move was also intended to cut off the enemy's supply route. Okay, reinforcement here he's talking about just food. Supply, then he's trying to mention all the guns and all the information also. Okay, that is also being supplied. That means somebody can see, like somebody who's sending food from here, they can also see Indian army approaching from all the places, right? So that is also an upper hand that they have. Okay, everybody's understood everything up till here?
Yes.
Yes, perfect.
Yes, Didi.
We'll do one more paragraph before we stop for today. Okay, go ahead. I think Muskan wanted to read next, right? Go ahead, Muskan.
Yes, Didi. The western spur of Tiger Hill extends up to 1.5 kilometers. The approach to the spur where its seat was developed lay along a steep rock face. An ad hoc uh, column of 866 led by Major Ravindra Singh and Lieutenant R.K. Serwa,
Rawat.
Serwat, comprising four JCOs and 52 soldiers climbed this rock face under poor visibility conditions and was able to capture India Gate after a long fought fight. It is battle Subendra Nirmal Singh led the assault platoon. He was illegal in hand-to-hand fighting till the end and was also responsible for beating back a counter attack.
Very well done, Muskan. So now he's telling us how we are attacking this place of India, these two protrusions, India Gate and Helmet. Okay, so this is how we're going about it. Tiger Hill extended up to 1.5 kilometers, the approach to the spur. So western spur का जो Tiger Hill का है, this area जो मैं जा रही हूँ cover करने, it's around 1.5 kilometers. Okay, where 8 Sikh was to the spur, where 8 Sikh was deployed lay along a steep rock face. 8 Sikh was deployed मतलब उनको जहाँ पे उन्होंने छोड़ा, where they started from, that was along the steep rock face. Steep again, khadi chalai. Okay, an ad hoc column of 8 Sikh. Ad hoc means ad hoc एक तो होता है कि बहुत ही कोई जो बहुत ही specifically needed हो. In this case, it was specially designed to do that particular task. Okay, let's say I'm doing a presentation and my network goes ahead. My network just goes, so I'm no longer able to show the PPT, speak at all. So I'll have an ad hoc, an ad hoc person. Let's say I'll have Sangeeta and Achal as a team who will step in. I've told them Sangeeta, Achal and Dildar are going to step in if my network goes away. So they are my ad hoc team for this particular task. Okay, I've specially trained them, taught them how to screen share, all of that. So in this case, an ad hoc column of 8 Sikh. Column means it's just a group of people. Okay, let's see who these people were. It was led by Major Ravindra Singh and Lieutenant R.K. Sherawat. Okay, I think this is what, if you've seen the movie Laksh, this is the attack that it's about. Okay, I'm not exactly sure though. All right, there are a lot of movies on this. Comprising of 4 JCOs. JCOs is a rank in the army. Okay, there's a Sipahi, this is soldier. Then you have people who are over soldier, which is JCOs, and then you have officers. So Major Ravindra Singh and Lieutenant R.K. Sherawat are officers who are heading this. Then you have 4 JCOs and you have 52 soldiers. Okay, climbed this rock face under poor visibility conditions and was able to capture India Gate after a tough fight. You remember where India Gate is? Slightly farther away, but it's a protrusion nonetheless. It's very important for our route. Okay, they could capture India Gate after a tough fight. In this battle, Subedar Nirmal Singh is his name. Subedar is his rank. Okay, Subedar Nirmal Singh led an assault platoon. He was engaged in hand-to-hand fighting till the end and was also responsible for beating back a counter-attack. Okay, during this entire fight, he was constantly engaged. He was having hand-to-hand fighting, so he was constantly physically fighting people. All right, and he was leading this assault platoon. So this particular platoon he was leading. and he was responsible for beating back a counterattack. Now, obviously, they can see us, so there's some people who go ahead. I'll try and walk faster from the rest of my team. Go ahead, so that my team, before they can get seen and shot, I am able to shoot the people. Okay, so that is the counterattack that he's talking about. All right. Okay. So we're gonna stop here for today. Let's take a quick look at our map again, at our map of Tiger Hills again, and then we will end. Okay. So take a look at this. All right. This is the helmet. This is helmet. This is India Gate. This is what they're trying to aim for. All right. This is the southern spur. This is the western ridge. This is the west side. This is the south side. You can see this is the area where we are already. Here we are sitting here. Okay. But this entire road through which they're sending food, sending supplies.
Didi,
Yes, love.
I can't see screen.
You can't see the screen? One second, I'll share it again, okay? Can you see it now?
Yes, Didi.
So this particular area through which they were sending all the food and everything, this they wanted to break, this route, okay? So now they're attacking here. Now they are placed, they're coming to this place, okay? Obviously they're not very close to it, so they're gonna reach here somehow without getting seen, okay? And then they're gonna fight. All right, so this is going to be slightly more difficult because this was done during the night time, and nobody thought they could actually do that. Nobody thought somebody would climb such a high steep slope and actually fight somebody here. But here they are prepared, okay? And now that they've seen we have attacked here, they are even more prepared to fight here. Okay, so this is going to be a slightly more difficult operation. So we went from all sides, finally captured the top. Now we are fighting here. Okay, so in the next class we'll see what happens after we fight there. All right. Now tell me this: have you guys understood this entire thing? Are you able to
Yes,
understand
Didi.
it? Lovely. And do we have any doubts?
दीदी
Yes, Lakshmi.
दीदी वो सारे जो ब्लैक पे थे, वो इंडियन गेट, टाइगर हिल, वो सारे पे शोल्डर्स थे ना टीम बना के.
So yeah, soldiers थे. So
और
बोलो.
एनिमी नीचे से जा रहे थे, वो अंडरग्राउंड.
नहीं बच्चे, so enemy is already there. Enemy ने क्या किया? अभी हम लोग अटैक कर रहे हैं, but enemy बहुत पहले से आके enemy is sitting there. Okay, this is a fight that has been going on for a long time. So what happens is India and Pakistan share borders है. आपको पता है border है ना India और Pakistan में. So some people, they came from the border, they attacked us and they had captured a few places. That's what the Kargil War is about. And we defeated them. All right, and we got our land back. All right, so we were attacked and then we fought back. That's what is happening. So they're not underground, they're standing very tall. They do have bunkers. Okay, so I'll show you a picture of a bunker also next time, guys, which is something which is slightly underground, but because this is a mountainous terrain, it would be difficult to build that. So they have like a lot of, to make things bulletproof, they've put things around. So if I'm sitting there for a long time, I've prepared myself, I've kept myself safe. That's why we were calling it well fortified. Well fortified मतलब अच्छा खासा fort बना रखा है. You can't attack me that easily. But when the Indian army is approaching, we are completely defensive. We are walking towards them, right? So it's slightly more difficult for us. Muskan, do you have a question, love?
Yes, Didi, because Didi, like this 868 mountain, this is a type of company, Delta.
So the Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, ये सारी companies हर unit में होती है, okay? So 8-6 has
soldiers कितने means कैसा होता है कि soldiers कितने होते होंगे और फिर उसका मेजर होता है?
Yes.
Like
So
हमारे लीड करने के लिए कोई रहता है, जैसे हमारा ग्रुप बनता है तो हमको लीड करने के लिए कोई ना कोई रहता है, तो दैट्स लाइक जो हम लोग का ये अल्फा है, बीटा है, तो उन लोगों को भी कोई लीड करता होगा ना?
yes, हर कंपनी को ऑफिसर्स लीड करते हैं एंड उसमें ढेर सारे सोल्जर्स भी एम्प्लॉयड होते हैं फिर, ठीक है? एंड उस पूरी यूनिट को एक कमांडिंग ऑफिसर लीड करता है, फिर वो ढेर सारे कमांडिंग ऑफिसर्स को और सीनियर ऑफिसर्स जो अपने कमांडर्स होते हैं वो लीड करते हैं. सो ऐसे कर करके बहुत ही मतलब elaborate chain of command है. Chain of command means आप किसको आंसर करते हो फिर वो किसको आंसर करता है, ऐसे ऐसे करके. ठीक है. But yes, so all these units, 8 SEC, 18 Grenadiers, they have their own companies. And then when these units come together, they form the mountain division that we are talking about. Okay, that's the brigade. Slightly complicated, but so long as you're able to understand what's happening, we are good. Okay, do we have any more doubts? I'll show you one. Any more doubts, guys? No, right? Okay, I'll show you one last picture before we leave. So this is roughly how the mountain would have looked. Okay, because of this time of the year that it was, in the season that we were attacking in, this is how it would have looked. There would have been snow. It would, this is how the color would have been. It would have been darker, so even this wouldn't have been visible. Okay, and they were climbing all these rocks. They're trying to get to the top, to various positions here, but you can only imagine how cold it is. Okay, because we live in Mumbai, and for us, winters are slightly little bit of cold, and we're like, oh, winters are here. Okay, lovely. So I will be ending the class here for today. In the next class, we will continue with Tiger Hills. We'll probably try and finish it, and then we will try and move ahead with the rest of our syllabus. Okay?
Do you know, in my English exam, I was in we read it now. Kasbai chapter. It's come in my English paper. I read it well.
I'm very happy that you were able to do that, Muskan. Sharing makes me really happy. Wonderful. That's great news. Okay, that's why we do this, so that we can help you with your exams. Okay. All right. So I'll be ending the class now. Bye, guys. I love you. Take care. Okay.
Bye, Didi.
Bye, Lakshmi.
Thank you, Didi. Bye.
Bye, Didi. Thank you.
Bye, Lala.
Bye, Didi. Thank you.
Bye, bye. Most welcome.